So now when I have my Retopo ready, I can proceed to the next step, which is UV mapping, and first, of course, mirroring this shark guy. So at first, I will disable the live surface from up here, and after that, I have no need anymore for my shark guy sculpt, so I can turn it to be visible. And I want to clean up my scene a bit, so I can delete this one here. And the thing what I want to see as well here is how long my history is. And let's see if my Maya is crashing. Okay, probably it crashes. No, it didn't crash. That's good. And yeah, if I come down here to the channel box, I can see that my history is very long, which makes my scene run very slowly. So first things first, I come up here, left to the edit, and delete by type, history, and it takes a while because the history is so long, but now I have cleaned the history, so it's running smoothly. The next thing what I will do is I will rename this mesh again, so this will be shark uppercase low uppercase poly, and we will add there underscore geo. So now we have really nice name there. After that, I want to check that everything what is currently on my middle line or middle in this mess is really middle on the x-axis wise. So I'm pressing mouse's right button on top of my mesh and selecting edge, and then double clicking the edge here. And the thing what I need to check here is that because mouth is now selected, I want to deselect these edges of the mouth, because I'm going to straighten out these edges here to be exactly in the middle of the scene. So I'm pressing W to activate my move tool, and then I'm coming up here and select X and press 0 and enter, which will move all the points or all the edges what were selected like a second ago to be on the middle of the x-axis, what is something what I currently want. And there's maybe few vertices but I want to tweak a bit, so like this. Next thing what we are doing is the mirroring of the object. So we select the mesh and then we go edit mesh, to the mesh and mirror with the little window. And options for my mirroring are mirroring axis world, mirror axis X, and that's about it. Next thing is that you can press apply or mirror, and now my model is mirrored perfectly. Uh, One thing what I need to do still is close the mouth. So usually you don't want to close the mouth while you retopo because that's a bit too difficult or time consuming if you do that with those tools. So now I'm going to the edge selection mode by pressing mouse right, and then I'm just selecting here. I can go inside of my model so I can see better all the edges which goes around the mouth. That one there. And now I have selected all the edges for the mouth, and then I just come here to my modeling toolkit and press extrude. And because I don't like this extrusion gizmo, I'm pressing W, and I can just pull this in here. And I want to straighten out these edges, so I'm pressing R, and I want to straighten those out z-axis wise, so I'm just scaling these edges on the z-axis, and now they are nice and uniform. Next thing what I'm doing is that I'm bit widening this mouth, so I kind of want to create a back type of object here inside of the shark's head. Yeah, maybe the back is or sphere or something like that is describing the best what I'm going to do next. So I go to the vertex selection mode, and then I'm selecting vertices and moving these out like this, widening a bit. Yeah, and then I'm doing another extrusion. So while these edges are selected, I'm pressing W, extrude, W again because I don't like that gizmo. And then maybe with R I'm scaling this up a bit, and then again with vertex selection I'm modifying this to be more round. Scaling it like this, and now I can turn myself outside to see how to modify the mouth. Okay, there is few points what I want to also modify like that. And then there is only the breaching of the mouth, so I'm selecting the edge, or I'm changing the edge selection, and then I'm selecting the facing edges and doing bridge here, and then I'm doing bridge here, and then I still have two edges what are not connected here. I will drag this vertex here a bit offset. So I need to cut this face here with the multicut tool. So from here, and if we wanted to create a longer edge or edge loop, we had to press control down. So then we can create edge which divides these faces here. And then now when we have more resolution here, I'm going into the vertex selection and moving this up and then this down. And the next thing what I'm doing is that I'm connecting these two vertices. I'm selecting those and then going into the edit mesh, merge to center. And same down here, selecting with shift these two vertices, edit mesh, merge to center. And the last thing what I'm doing is that I'm pulling this bit back like this. So now we have some kind of back or sphere or half a sphere kind of form there. And that should work as a mouth. Basically we could do the same thing for the eyes, but this is really a matter of taste. Someone just like to plug in the eyeballs here and don't do the rest of the eyes, but in this case let's check here. Yeah, basically we could create just a few planes here, or we could bridge this so anything can be seen through it, even if the eyeball is on top of it. So maybe we are just bridging this to be closed. And then so I selected these two edges here, and after that I'm going to select the multicut tool again, one of my favorite tools, pressing Control to get edge there, and then I'm selecting this point and bringing it up here and selecting these two vertices and pressing down spacebar, edit mesh, merge to center, and that's done. And then we have easy job down here, selecting this edge and then the facing edge and bridge, and here the facing edge and bridge. And now it's basically done there. If we want, we can now select these faces, and actually we can modify this a bit. So I'm pushing it in like this, pulling it up a bit. So now there is 4 faces. I can select these faces and extrude those in quite easily. Like this. Because this part are not seen, it's not super important that they are mirrored to the other side. But we could actually do that for sake of rehearse. So if you have modified something on the other side and you want it to be mirrored as well to the other side of your character, first thing what you do is that you jump to the frontal view and then you go to the face mode. And now I'm trying to select everything from the left because I have modified the right side. And every face from the left until this bolded line comes here, which is our y-axis, I want to delete, and then mirror everything from the left side. So first I'm just blocking most of it to be selected, and then I just press delete, and now I have to zoom it in and delete the rest of this. Like this, there is still something. Okay, now that's clean. Then this. There is probably some smarter way to do this, but you can let me know when you figure it out. And almost done. Okay, now we have, or we are left with only the right side of our shark. And then I'm back on the object mode, so I'm pressing mouse's right on top of the mesh and selecting object mode. Then pressing spacebar and going to the mesh mirror with the options window, and then just apply, and we get our shark mirrored. And I will close this window, and now it looks fine. Okay, and that one thing what we are going to do again is of course Command S for saving, and then I'm coming into the channel box, and I can see that okay, I have again history here. So I go edit, delete by type, and history, and now it's nice and clean. I want to clean this before we proceed to the UVs, because UVs are creating more history and the model is getting heavier, so it will affect our work. Okay, I will turn off the grid because I don't want to see it. It's on my way. But the next thing what I'm doing is I'm changing my workspace to UV editing,